anything, really.
Hey guys, welcome to Anything Really, where we talk about
Anything, really.
today's topic is college truths.
So we'll be spilling the tea about our experience in college. But before we do that, we're going to start our new segment called Bold or Gold.
Or both.
Or both. So basically, for this segment, we're going to be kind of like talking about the highlights of our week, where we either did something bold or daring, or where we experienced something like gold, or like just kind of like heartwarming, something that we won't forget.
Yeah, exactly.
Something
like a special moment almost. Or just like a positive good way. So for my bold or gold moment, I would say honestly, it was just carrying my little cousin this weekend. I went to Bible study and I have a new kind of born baby. She's 3 months old. She's my little cousin, and I was just holding her all day long, and it was the freaking best.
Aww.
And it gave me mommy fever, and
Stop it
it
right
was
now.
so cute. And it's just like it just lit up my whole day. So I would say that was definitely my gold moment of the week.
Aw, I love that, because when kids are young, like, it's just such a precious time, because they're never going to be that young again. And then, especially with my nephew, like, it's been like 4 years since he's been born, and I'm like, I can't even believe it. Like, you're
Right,
just a baby.
And already that, like, the amount that they've developed in those 4 years is crazy. Like, they go from like this tiny little thing to this like big annoying little thing. So it's like
aw, you just want them to be that size forever.
yeah, it's definitely those special moments, those special times of a baby's life. Okay, so what was your bolder moment?
So I feel like my golden moment
Mhm.
would have to be, I just finished my second semester. Well, I don't even know what semester, but this is my third semester this year.
Yeah.
And I took biology. This is the third time I took it
Oh my God.
in college, and I finally passed.
Yes! I was so excited for that.
I'm like, it's just so, I don't know,
It's
closer
such
to
an
my heart.
accomplishment. Yes,
Right,
yes,
just
it really
because
is.
in high school I wasn't good at biology. I got a D in biology. My first semester in college I got a D, which is not a passing grade. So this semester I got a C, which isn't the best, but you know.
But it's a passing and it's improvement, and you got there.
Right.
You did it. I love that.
Because I was
for her.
so scared I was not going to pass it. I was like, oh my God, I'm going to have to take it next semester. Like, I'm not going to graduate on time. So now my graduation schedule's on point,
Yes.
you know, set. So that's kind of my golden moment.
Yeah,
It's
I love
not
that.
big,
That's-
but like it's
no,
big
that's
for
a
me.
freaking, that's a great freaking bold moment, golden moment.
Yeah.
It's kind of both. Okay.
Right, but on the topic of college
Mhm.
and biology, let's get into the college truth. So
Yes.
I'm Bianca,
I'm Giselle.
and we're gonna expose college.
After one semester of being in it for me, so obviously I graduated high school, and then I did apply to a university, and I got in, and I went and I dormed, and I did that for one semester, but it didn't work out for me, so I ended up going home for that rest of the semester, the rest of the school year, and it wasn't until like that next following school year where I came here to my local community college, and then I just finished my first semester.
Okay, so me, I graduated high school, went to college right away, just like Giselle. But I went to a community college, which is different, like on two completely different levels.
Yeah, it is a very different experience. We'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into it. And this is my second year, so I'm a sophomore in college. And yeah, so first we're gonna talk about just kind of like the idea of college growing up, and kind of what we saw or what we thought about college.
what we
as
thought
we
it
were-
would be like, kind of.
Yeah.
Yeah, the expectations
Yeah.
versus reality.
For real.
Okay, so do you want to lead us with the first question?
So for me, I was telling Giselle, like my first kind of experience of college, well, like when I saw it on TV, it was mostly like, you know, like parties and like drinking or whatever it was. And it's very much that depending on what college or university you go to, especially like where if you go to like a party college,
party
which
school.
is a thing, you know?
Yeah, it's real, bro. And that's the thing about college is like I had the opposite end of her, where I really didn't think that was those types of things were real. You know, like I didn't care. I just genuinely didn't think these like 22-year-olds were out here partying. Like what? And then so I thought college was more like very much on like the studio side. Like, you know, you have to be very professional. You have to be very formal. Like you have to like. I thought it was like med school or something. You know what I mean? And then whereas like so when I got hit with that like going into college and like I mean I guess my school was kind of not I wouldn't say like the biggest party school, but it was like more known as a party school. So when I did get there and like kind of like saw all that for the first time, it was like wow. But I did get sucked into it and I did participate. Oops. So continue. Tell me more about how you thought growing up.
But yeah, like that was maybe like when I was younger. But I mean, as I grew up,
Like more like high school. Like when you were starting to like actually come upon college, what did you think it was gonna be like?
I just thought it was gonna be like scary but exciting. I had visited like campuses before, so I was like kind of excited about the whole thing. But obviously, like it's nerve-wracking. It's a whole different experience.
It's like going from middle school to high school. Like that's nerve-wracking. So like going to high school to college is like a little bit like crazy.
Yeah. So that was mostly it for me. I remember like in middle school, it was maybe like touched upon, but like I know like in elementary school, like they would be like, "What do you want to be?" And you kind of have like this idea. But it wasn't until I was like in high school where I'm like, okay, like what am I gonna be? Like, you know, what am I gonna do? Do I have to do? So my expectations were definitely different as I grew up.
Yeah, I've always had like a very like, oh, I have to do good on this assignment. I have to get good grades. I have to get a good look in high school so I could go to a good college, so I could get a good job, so I could have a good life. Like I always had that. So I think like as a kid, but growing up and like actually facing college, like when I started getting more information about it, like going to these campus trips, like it did kind of calm me down a little bit more. But also like it's like the more you know, like the more you find out, the more that you need to know. I don't know if that makes sense, but like it's like with college, it's like you'll find out, like for example, that you need to apply, right? But then you need to find out how to apply, and then to apply, you need to do this essay. So then you have to find out how to write essays. So it's just like it was very like daunting for me because I just like realized how much there was to do.
Did you picture yourself in college?
I did picture myself in college, but I think just like what like it's because like things turned out a little bit differently than as like I would expected as this like like overthinking child because of COVID. I think like that when COVID came, like it's like everything that I had worked for had gone down the drain and like my motivation went down, like my wants and needs went down, like my the confidence that I could do good in school went down. So everything just went down. So after that I didn't really I kind of rolled with it when it came to college, where like after I graduated I kind of just like applied to like a few schools by me, and then wherever I got accepted I went. So it was not like the very like, oh, like I did research or like I found out this is the best place for me or like this is what I want to do. It was very much just like go with it, did it because of COVID. If not, I feel like things would have been a little bit different. But maybe that's just me like blaming and having like victim mentality.
Myself, I feel like I definitely expected myself to go to college because there's always that like expectation
like
where
the authority figure that's like always telling you like you're gonna go to college, especially in school.
Yeah, because you always hear like if you don't go to college, you're not going to be successful, and that's definitely like not the case.
Yeah, for sure. Especially now, I think it's very obvious. Like when you can see, like for example, like finance students will like make more money in their first like 4 years or 6 years of working than like a med school student would. Because like they're not making shit until like they actually graduate. So it's like very much and it's also like like TikTok creators, like YouTubers, like
yeah, you can come up and be like rich off anything, like
I think anything now, like Ryan is like a fucking, isn't he like a millionaire?
Ryan's like 9. He's balling. But yeah, like I mean, I think like the richest people in the world right now didn't even get a college experience. Yeah. Maybe we're doing the wrong thing.
Maybe we're but it's fine.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah, do what you want to do. If education is your goal, then go for it.
Right. So I know you talked about like like the due dates and like essays and stuff like that. So that's kind of like the transition of high school to college. Like for me, it was definitely like the same. It was very daunting, and I was just very nervous. Like obviously I had those resources for me, but like I just was like nervous. Like I kind of just wanted everybody to do it for me kind of thing. I was very like that mentality.
Okay.
And so like I don't feel like as if I did enough, but I'm glad that I didn't do enough. I'm glad that like whatever I did got me here.
Oh yeah. Like you're grateful for where you are now.
Yeah. Like cause when I was in high school, I was like, I don't want to go to community college. Like there was just like such a bad stigma around it, and I was just like, no, like I don't want to do that. Like I want to go to university, and I'm so glad I didn't, because like I'm saving money. Like I'm meeting great people. Like I have great teachers.
Yeah, you're comfortable. You know your way around. Yeah, that's true. Like, well, I don't know. I had like personal stigma where like that's what I thought, but like the people around me, like everyone would tell me that like community college is great and it's a great resource, especially if you're like lower income or like well not even if you're lower income. It's just like a smart move to like pay less.
But nobody tells you that.
Yeah, nobody tells you that. That's the thing. Yeah, like I was lucky enough where someone did tell me that, but like before that I did like have the stigma against community college where I was like no, like that's where like the dumb kids go. You know what I mean? But that's not it at all. Wait, what was the next question?
Well, if we're the dumbest kids, we're the dumbest, smartest kids here.
Literally.
I'm just kidding. But yeah, so like, do you want to now touch upon like the things that were kind of like harder, like, you didn't expect in college and stuff like that?
Okay, yeah, for sure. Okay, so like, I would say what would you say, studies? Like the content itself that you're being taught is harder, or maybe it's not so much that it's harder. I think it's just that like you have less actual teaching time on it. Like there's not as much of a teacher going and explaining and like showing you examples and this and that. There is still some of that, but it's honestly going to be mostly on your own, like reading the book or studying with a friend, like whatever you choose to do. But like it's going to be mostly on your own, on your schedule, on your own time. So that's what kind of like makes it a really big transition, because I think in high school, like they could say whatever, but like I feel like they're still very much babying you in high school, and they're really much like helping you and teaching you, and they don't expect you to learn like any of the content or material yourself. So with here, you just have to have like, that's where like all these different aspects come into play, because you need to have good time management, you need to have good studying skills, or like studying not skills, but like techniques. Yeah, you have to like have like the confidence to be able to go reach out for help if you need it. Like there's tutoring, there's like office hours, like there is help out there and resources, but I feel like a lot of people, like a lot of students don't go to them even if they need them. I don't know why. And yeah, you just have to be like more prepared and more and plan ahead a little bit more, and just like kind of like be ready for this and like know what to expect and then go on and do it.
Yeah, because I feel like when we were in high school, they told us that college was going to be hard, but
but they didn't explain in what way. Like, again, like, it's not even so much the content. Like, it will be, like, the material will be obviously a little harder, it's college, but it's honestly just more so, like, the way you're being taught it.
Yeah, like Giselle said, it's more about, like, teaching yourself. Like, a big difference between, like, high school and college is, like, the connection between the teachers. Like Giselle said, like maybe you're being babied more, you're getting chased down the hall to like do an assignment, like make sure you do this before like the semester ends,
right? Or else you can't graduate. Things like that. Like
no one's really doing that for you in college. You have to be that kind of like authoritative figure for yourself. Like if you want a relationship with your professor now, you have to kind of chase it.
Yeah, you have show to that you want it. Yeah, show that you want it, because they have like thousands. Actually, not thousands. Maybe hundreds.
Maybe thousands.
Sure. Yeah, maybe thousands at bigger schools. But they have many students, and so like like they themselves, it's hard to keep up. You know what I mean? So like if you really want to show that you want like that relationship, or you want to just be closer, like you have to definitely put in that work.
It's not gonna be as easy as high school. Like it's definitely gonna be more time consuming,
more challenging,
and you have to like very like know your schedule well and know when you're going to have planned study time,
right.
And understand when you're gonna have time to do stuff, when you're gonna have time to read the textbook, when you're gonna have time to do the lab assignment, like whatever it is, you have to kind of like schedule more. Whereas high school, like it's kind of scheduled out for you.
Yeah, we covered like educational stuff, like socialized.
So I think like in college, like it's very hard to make friends. Like it's not impossible, but it's not definitely as easy as it would be like when you're in high school or middle school, just because you know all those people and you've probably known them for your whole life.
Right,
you, like live in the same town.
School. Yeah, same neighborhood, same bus.
You guys like there's more like social experiences in high school where you have gym class, you have lunch, you have
like these social rec times, like where you can actually talk and communicate and like make conversation, because like here I feel like everyone's to themselves, into their own studies, into like because we're all here for a very good purpose, right? So like none of us are very much like straying away from that, so you just have to put in more effort to like make that conversation, or like to like try to make a friend. And also like there's less opportunity to do it too, because of that like lack of social rec time. It's just like very much get to class, maybe like 5 minutes to like get comfortable, and then like class starts, and then you guys will probably like all like the lecture will go on until like the class is over. You know what I mean? Like there's no like hangout time anymore.
Like the only time that I've made friends, like when you're in high school, you're like, you know everybody in your class, you're friends with everybody in your class. But like in college, it's like you're only friends with the people like you sit with, or like that you have like group time with. Like if your teacher kind of like puts you guys in a group.
Yeah.
Not that you can't like be friends, but like it's kind of like, I feel like awkward.
Yeah, so it's because again, like it's like almost that thing where like we're all here to like learn, like for real.
Yeah.
So, like, it's like nobody's like really like putting in all this much effort to like be like, oh my god, like hey, how are you, like blah blah
Yeah.
blah. But so it's really useful. Yeah, I mean to make friends with like, I don't want to make it sound like college is all about just like using people, but to like make friends with people that like you guys can actually like help each other, like study together, like your lab partner, like someone in your class who like you think you guys could be like, you could be like, hey, do you want to like do the quiz together, like things like that. Like that's a really good way, I feel like, to make friends, because you guys are helping each other out in something that actually matters and something that you guys both actually care about, like which is class and your grades. And then you're also kind of get to build like a connection while you're doing it. But again, like you don't have to like just be friends with someone because like you want to study with them. Like you can also just like ask, like be like, hey, really cool jacket. That's how I met someone. We were like waiting in the cafeteria line, and then she was like, oh, I really like your outfit. And I was like, I really like your jacket. And she was like, do you mind if I get your Insta? And I was like, oh my god, no, here, go for it. And like then we texted a little bit too. So it's like you could do anything. It's like the same as high school in that sense where you can like still go up and talk to anyone. It's fine.
Yeah.
Actually, maybe not like high school, because I feel like high schoolers still have like that cliche mindset.
Yeah, for sure. Because there's more of like the football team, the cheerleader, like like whatever it is. But it's definitely different in college. But like again, don't be like scared to make friends.
Yeah,
Cause,
it's
like,
still definitely possible. Yeah. There's clubs and there's like just like there's some things like activities like after school. Like apparently we have a tailgate now.
We have everything. So like, do you want to talk about like the mentality that you maybe should have or like lean towards in college?
Wait, actually, you take this one on first.
Okay. So I feel like the mentality in college, it's like more of like you have to be kind of more mature, I want to say.
Yeah.
Because when I first started college, I was kind of just like, like living in like La La Land,
yeah,
and
like
just
oh
doing whatever.
Here, like,
yeah, like
college girl.
Yeah, I'm here with my friends. Let's meet up after class and just talk. Like, but you can't do that really.
Yeah.
Like you have to talk about school.
Yeah, you could study together and
right.
Talk. Well, no, don't get it twisted. Like at the beginning of the year, there is more time to be social, and as the year goes on, like it definitely decreases. But like you can still make that time. But yeah, again, like you do have to. It's like studies have to come first. Well, I mean, I guess everyone is different, but like for me, like I definitely like I'm not even a full-time student right now. I'm a part-time student, and I still have to like make sure that my studies go first, or else I'm not gonna do well on them, because I need to like put in the time to study to do good on the test, and I need to put in the time in my like journal review to get a good grade. Like I need to memorize this presentation that I'm gonna present. It's like you have to be focused. Yeah, you have to be on it like at all times. Like and like even like me, I took like a 1 week vacation, and I would still had to be focused on it throughout that vacation, or else I would have fallen behind and it would have been terrible. So like like there's just no breaks for real, and it doesn't have to be like a daunting, scary thing, because as long as you're prepared and as long as you're doing things like one by like in a proper amount of time, like you can get anything done. You can do anything. The thing like the fact that you can do it is there. You just have to put in the time and effort.
Yeah, I feel like we're scaring them. College is not that bad.
Yeah, it's not that bad. Yeah, it's just like for us, it was like we had to get this like reality check, because at least for me, like I was in La La Land. Like I was not caring about fucking school, and like so I did need this. Maybe you guys don't need this that much.
Right.
Yeah,
but everybody's different. But like when you get to college, it's like definitely something that you're not prepared for at all, unless you're like super hella matured and like you know that you have to be on your studies.
Yes. Oh my god, guys. Like let me just tell you about like let me tell you a little bit about my uni experience, because it was a lot. So as you can tell, like we had a little bit of different experience, just because Bianca did go to her local, well, it's both our local community college, but then I went a little bit, well, it was like an hour away, so which is still not crazy, but it's still like enough where I had to like dorm over there, you know what I mean? And that experience alone, like that lifestyle aspect of it, was a lot to handle, and I think that definitely did impact other aspects of my life, whether it be like relationships, mental health, my academics, because it did. Like when I was there, I was just like, I was so shocked about, like having no parents, about having no one to tell me what to do, no one to tell me like, hey, to eat good food, no one to tell me like, hey, you should be working on your thing. And not that my parents did so much of that before, but it was just like the fact that like I was literally so freaking free that like I could do anything, and what I chose to do was waste my time.
Right.
So it was just like, so yeah, it's I just want to keep in mind that like moving away is a lot. Like college in general is a lot, and then plus like some people do have these experiences where they're like moving, like let's say like to like Washington, Florida, like some people even study abroad. So it's just a lot, and you do have to be, I feel like, reach a certain level of comfortness and like a maturity to be able to what's it called, like I guess oversee these situations like in a healthy, happy way where you're enjoying them and you're not like kind of like distressed and like, oh my god, like, you know, hit by it, like kind of like shocked by it.
Yeah, I feel, yeah, like even though college is scary and like overwhelming at times, it is a lot of freedom too, and you kind of, it's like a lot of self-discovery and like
Self-discipline comes
yeah.
into play.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's important when you are in college to remember why you're there and like remember your why and your purpose. And like it's okay to be overwhelmed, but like you have to believe in yourself and like know that this is something that you want to do, that it's like gonna benefit you in the future. Because right now it's gonna be hard now, but you would rather preferably have it hard now than to have life hard later.
Yes, exactly. You know? Yeah, put in the work now. Like, what's the harm in that? Because then like that all comes back to like being prepared, you know, like if you're doing it now, then later on like you're gonna reap the benefits, and if not, you'll do the opposite, which is fine too, but you know, that's some motivation that can maybe help you push through. And yeah, like how Bianca said, just always keep in mind like your purpose and why you're here, because as long as you really truly are passionate about it, then that should honestly help you a lot to keep you to keep going.
Yeah.
And yeah,
and like obviously like we're not like perfect, like, you know, we've had our bad moments, but like we dropped out as well, like, you know, and it's okay to drop out, and
you
like,
can definitely come back, guys, and take your gap year if you need it, like take a break if you need it, if you don't feel like you're ready for college. Like it's like, oh, I don't know, maybe it's like one of those things where like some people feel like they're never ready, but I don't think so necessarily. But either way, like if you just have any inkling of doubt, I'd say like take the time off to like just reflect and to like grow and to, you know, do what you got to do before coming into college, because it is a lot. Not that like it's impossible or that it's like terrible, because you just need to have that want and then like that motivation, I guess, and like the actual like discipline to push through, and you're gonna do great.
Yeah, I think the reason that I dropped out was just because first of all, I wasn't doing good, and like I dropped out during like the COVID era where everything was online. So for me, like class just felt like optional, and like I just didn't have like motivation. Like we weren't in school. Like it was just like I wasn't around people that wanted to study and like do that stuff. So for me, I was just like, you know, not engaged at all. So I decided to, you know, drop out, and on top of that, I didn't really know what I wanted to do, so I was just like, why am I gonna be here if I'm not sure of myself? But in the back of my head, I always knew that I wanted to come back, and like I just needed time to reassess. And what about you? Because I know you dropped out too, and you kind of like talked about it a little bit.
Yeah, so again, like it was just like a lot for me. I think like my mental was going down. Like I obviously wasn't doing anything in school. Like I would not attend my classes. I didn't have any like grade to show for. So it was a very much moment where I'm like, I kind of realized like, hey, this is just not for me. This is not what I want. And then and that's when I decided to go home and not come back. And then after that, I just worked, and then I kind of like worked on myself. I started reading the Bible more, or not necessarily reading, but like studying the Bible more with my father, who like is a little bit more educated and knowledgeable about it. And then after that, I kind of just like felt like I was growing, I was preparing myself, and then I realized like with working as well that like because I had two jobs. One like was just like this like quick little like factory job that just like really was like reality check was like, I do not want to fucking do this for the rest of my life, so I need to get a career, I need to like do something. And then I did have another like great amazing job with like, but I learned a lot, and both professionally and personally. And anyways, this all kind of worked together to push me to come back to school, and then that's why I came back that following year. Well, I had always known too as well that I wanted to go back, and I think it just like it was a matter of like getting ready to come back, and then once I was ready, I did come back.
Yeah. Same, yeah, because I definitely was not like ready at all, like especially like time management, like that was not my thing at all. But it's okay, like, because we were able to fail, and like failing doesn't always have to be bad. Like there's definitely good in it, because you realize like what I did and what things not to repeat, and like what things worked out for you. Like it's like you don't have to be ashamed of failing.
And it makes the journey like all that much more like I guess valuable almost, because you know, what's easier, just like, you know, going for something and like getting it and like just straight inclining the whole time, or like really working at it and like having your ups and downs and your fails and your successes, and then finally being able to say like, hey, I got here. Like it's definitely better than just like it coming so easily to you and like handed to you almost, you know what I mean? So there's value in that, and also that's how you grow. So it's okay, it's chill, it happens to everyone, and you'll do great.
Yeah, like don't let anybody like be like, oh, you have to go to college, you have to do this. Like, you know, like you know yourself better than anybody else. Like if you don't feel ready, like don't go yet. Like don't overwhelm yourself. Don't go like far away if you don't feel ready.
Especially that was crazy of me.
She's just like, we're there.
Yeah, I'm like going. I'm gonna be a true college girl, even though I'm not ready at all mentally or physically.
Right. So like I guess like a big part of like moving on from high school is like having a plan, like being ready for change, I guess. And
and keep in mind that this change also, like, you can definitely have assistants. There's your fellow peers, there's your like high school teachers that can like kind of guide you. There's your new like resources at college, like your advisors, your academic advisors, your career advisors. There's social workers. I don't think they're called social workers anymore though.
Yeah, there's just so many people out there to help you.
And there's like programs and clubs too. Like we have like Trio. I think that's like a popular like across the nation.
Is it really?
I think so, but I'm not sure. We'll fact check.
But yeah, like, you know, there's so many people that are willing to help you. It's just like you have to be able to help yourself realize what you need, what maybe is working out for you, what's not working out for you.
Yeah, and go ask for it.
Yeah, and like we're back. We're ready to learn. So like, you know, it was good that we took that.
Even more now after our first semester, and we feel even more prepared. So yeah, just remember, it's kind of like going through like that middle school to high school thing all over again. So it's definitely daunting, but you know that you got through it, so you can get through this too.
Right, but you know, like college isn't awful. Like there's
it's not awful at all. It's fucking amazing. Learning is so valuable, and it's so I don't know. There's such a beauty in it. I love it. I think it's great. I love coming here and learning every day.
Yeah, and like once you like find out what you like to learn about, whether it be like finance or like government or
political science,
you know, communications,
psychology,
whatever it is, like you'll just be like so much more engaged and wanting to learn about it, just because it's something that like piques your interest.
Yeah.
And for me, I like college because like I get to even learn about myself more, and you know,
true.
This is definitely a time of like self-love and like self-reflecting, like we talked about. And
yeah, it's true. Like when they said like that going to college really does like make you a more like well-rounded person, I fully agree, because just like in one semester already, I feel like I've learned so much about like myself, about cultures, about like the mind, about like people. Like it's just crazy like how much I've learned in just one semester, and about so many different things. So it's really cool,
and you get like a new perspective about the world, about people, about life, about society, whatever it is. So there's definitely like amazing benefits, and like even if you drop out and never come back, like you're gonna learn something. Well, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate you guys tuning in to Anything Really, where we talk about anything really. So yeah, let us know if you guys want to hear more about college. Make sure that you guys like, subscribe, comment if any of these tips helped you. We will see you guys later. Bye.